So it is 9 o'clock. So if we could call the special meeting to order. And
oh boy.
Go ahead if we'll stand for the flag salute.
All
I
right.
pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag,
United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Okay, first item is the public comment.
Does she have this letter you just?
Yeah, I emailed it.
Yeah,
Okay. There's nobody here physically present, Chairwoman.
okay.
The Cedarlands plan on zooming in, but I think we can go past the public comment if you'd be willing to let them speak during the discussion.
Okay. So you guys just got the letter as well.
Yeah.
And you also got the information email from Tim, our legal counsel.
Yeah. He's saying time out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I would agree. And like I had just, gotten the emails from Travis this morning with things revised. So I really think that we kind of just need to let our counsel deal with this. I don't necessarily make any decisions. I don't know.
My thoughts on that are as our executive director here can have a conversation with Cedarlands that they need to have that agreement with MTT, then we can do this.
Yeah, I would agree.
That it's that simple, and that these are the terms we're willing to agree on as you see them, but we can't not agree on these things until then.
Yeah, agreed.
That makes sense.
Does, and I do have a pre-planned call with Tim 3 o'clock today to discuss our permanent contracting possibilities.
Okay.
And I asked him if we could set aside some of that time to discuss this particular issue.
Okay.
So
you'll have to you want one of the commissioners in on that? I won't be able to be there today.
If any of the commissioners would like to, I would not turn it down. It's at 3 o'clock today.
Okay.
So Mike, if you aren't able to do it, then I'll try to be there.
And the majority of the it would be around 3:30 on that call. Because we have half an hour of already planned discussion.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
And I mean, as long as we have come to resolution on the dealt with factors, the red lines that I made in the agreement you have here was the majority of my intent when I discussed with MTT about how they would pay and contract into getting their water connections. Now, all this stuff, the majority of the stuff that got redlined out by me was, our council put in there, and because there's unfinished business.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to finish that business for months.
So if how the language here with council, so we could do the agreement contingent. That's what he's saying at the end here, or should we just?
No, at 3 o'clock, I would like to discuss these red lines, and these red lines I know. And then I discussed it with Jeff Carey, and he agreed that some of those they look fine to him, but we've got to have council tell us it looks fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a second check.
All right.
So we had public comment, but then you popped in, Joe and Jessica. So would anybody object to having them address us, or you want to wait? Board?
They can go ahead and speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity to provide comment on the document. So basically after reviewing it, it's a very burdensome document. I've been doing this, real estate development for 25 years, worked in multiple cities, multiple counties, city of Moses Lake, city of Ocean Shores, city of Port Orchard, pretty much every county on the west side of the state. And basically, the document is a very burdensome document. And it just feels like it's not the right fit for the Port of Allyn, and for what we're trying to do out there. And typically, like when you see bonding requirements, that's for like, public works types jobs in the city where you're tearing up public streets. And for example, even public works doesn't require bonding for their sewer line extensions. We just got 2 permits approved through Mason County Public Works for sewer line extensions that we got back in about a week, 2.5 weeks. There's no requirement for bonding. They have their list of inspections that they want. They want to, they want their visual inspections and they want their pressure test, and that's all they want. And they know that we're extending infrastructure that benefits them at our cost, and it makes sense for them to work with us to facilitate that. And so it doesn't make sense why the Port of Allyn wants to put a bunch of extra burdens on developers and builders, especially with a mandate to promote economic growth and development in the district. And there's just no way that as a builder I would sign that document. I mean, absolutely not. It puts way too much burden and responsibility on the builder. Basically, when you're building in a plat and you buy a lot with a water meter at the corner of the lot, it's the anticipation you're going to pay a fee to the water district. You're going to get your water letter, and then you're going to pay a connection fee when they set your meter, and that's going to be it. And every jurisdiction I've built in and developed in the last 25 years, that's all I've ever been required to do. And I've done line extensions in Sequim, I've done line extensions in Pierce County, and I've done line extensions for Washington Water, and they've never even required me to sign a document because they ultimately have the power to approve the line extension. If I don't construct it to their standards and it doesn't pass pressure test or sanitary test, they reserve the right not to pass it, and then I'm going to have to go back and rectify it to meet their standards. And that's all the leverage they need on me to get that line extension approved, because I have to build it to their standards, and that's the responsibility that I agree to when I sign up to develop that system. And so that is really all that needs to be done. The same thing with public works. They all they're requiring is that we, build it to their standards. It passes pressure test. They can see us constructed. They visually inspect it, and that we provide a pressure test with their staff on site, and they sign off. And they're, that's Mason County Public Works. They're covering the whole county, and that's all they're requiring. And so what that document that I would review it is it's partly a developer line extension document, and it's partly a builder document. And if the port really wants to adapt a document for line extensions, was not really necessary. It just needs to address line extensions, what the responsibility is of the developer for pressure test and inspections. And that's all it really needs to address. And any fees associated with that extension. And that's what the developer needs to know so he can comply with the request. And as far as the builder or the end user, he's already buying a lot with a line extension with the meter set to water meter box on the corner of the lot. In the case of MTT Homes, there's no reason they should have any burdensome requirements put on them, because that line extension was inspected by the port. It was the pressure test was overseen by the port's engineer, and Larry Capola, the past director, signed off on it. I have the in writing the document. So it was honored under the agreement at the place at the time. And I understand the port wants to protect itself from liability and document these things better, but and so that's the decision of the port, obviously to want to look into this thing, but it seems like to me it's gotten overboard. And if Public Works is not even doing that, why is the port pursuing it so aggressively? And it doesn't make any sense. And it's a burden to business. Every hurdle we have to jump through costs money and it takes time. And so this, it's very frustrating in a small business and port district to have to deal with extra burdensome regulation, especially already when the real estate market is extremely challenging. Interest rates are high, buyers are moving slowly, and this has been, the request from MTT Homes to the Port for Water came in on the 22nd of May, and it's taken this long for this document to get drafted. I mean, that's a long time. They could have built all these houses out by then. And right before we're ready to close this transaction and get a settlement in place with the port, we got another roadblock to deal with. So that's my public statement on the matter, and I look forward to discussion with the port, but I really think that it doesn't make any sense to go down this road when it's really not necessary. Really, the document should just be the outlines of the terms and conditions of the line extension. Not all the developer should have to sign, and the end user, the builder, which is MTT Homes in this case, is buying a lot with a meter set on it. They just pay. If you want to have a one-page document that basically gives them the terms and conditions of hooking up to your system, then that's a decision the port needs to make. But that's really all that needs to be done. I mean, Washington Water, they have 15,000 water connections. They're a municipal company, and that's all they're doing is a one-page water agreement letter for their end users. And last time we did a line extension with them, they didn't even make us sign an extension document. All we did was have it inspected for their requirements, and we gave them a bill of sale, giving them the system once it was installed.
Okay,
And
Joe,
passed
well,
their pressure test, and that was the only
generally
thing
we allow about 3 minutes, so you've been going on more than that. So duly noted.
Okay.
We know that you've disagreed with this. We have been trying to negotiate through this. It's not just us. So, but we are going to meet with our council this afternoon. So, we're not going to make any decisions today because we do have to meet with our council. So I just want to let you know that's what's transpired so far. Commissioners, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I don't. I heard Joe Cedarland loud and clear, and we have reference to needing to meet with council. We've been counseled to meet with council, so we'll basically be moving in that direction later this afternoon. One of the commissioners will be on that conference call with Travis. Not sure what that looks like yet, but.
And I have some questions for you, Joe, that I need to get answered to try to push this along. I mean, I could ask him here, or I can ask him off air. What would you prefer?
You asking me or Joe?
Yeah,
I'm asking
Joe, did you hear that? You want him to just call you and talk to you?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's hard to hear you. 1 second. Travis has some stuff to ask you. Do you want it on Zoom or do you want it off call?
It's up to him.
Okay, well,
I'm fine.
there's a little bit of confusion here on who's actually the developer and who's actually the builder here. So from my understanding, you're the developer on this project, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I just became knowledge of that. I was not under the impression you were the developer. I was under the impression MTT was the developer. The contract was written as such. So MTT is buying the lots from you?
How is that not known? How we've talked about this since May.
yeah,
How
we
is
did.
that not known? We selling the lots that we developed to a builder. We've talked about this numerous times. So yes,
Okay.
they are the buyer, they are the builder. We developed
They're the
lots
buyer
a while ago.
and the builder, but you still remain the developer on the project.
We are the developer until we sell the lots.
Yeah, we do both. We've always done building and developing both. Some companies are 100% developers, some are 100% builders, and our company has always done both over the years.
Okay.
Depending on the market conditions.
Well, if you could email me that exact, terminology, so that it's clear for our legal team, that would be a help. And I suppose the rest of my questions could be asked offline because they pertain to the port dealing with our unfinished business.
Okay,
Sure.
all right, well, moving along then. With that being said, and we need to talk to council,
Mhm.
is there anything further that we need to address in regard to this topic?
Other than the fact that which one of us is gonna be here at 3 o'clock or
Are
3:30?
you able to make it, Mike?
I should be able to. I can.
Okay, are you comfortable doing that? If you can't, then I will.
I can do it.
Okay,
And then there is also the possibility that the commission could bless myself and council's collaboration on being able to offer MTT a new arrangement for our discussions at council.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because,
rather than having another meeting
I
to
agree.
discuss all of this again.
yeah, so we've looked at the documents, and Joe Searland has expressed, his concerns. And with you going to council today, and I see all the issues here, but, if the council has a clear path and direction, which you probably will, I'm good and comfortable with personally as one commissioner with what council recommends we do and how we write this up.
For the sake of timeliness.
Yeah.
And for all parties.
Yeah.
It would make it so that we could come to a resolution. faster.
Yeah, I'd like to see us get there. So as far as council's recommendations or what he gives us a clear path forward, I would totally be comfortable with that.
Okay.
do you
So,
need
yeah.
a motion? Yeah,
Yes, we would do a motion for that.
okay,
I'll make a motion that per council on his directness on the final draft of the contract, that we approve his final recommendations there at this meeting here today. Prior to the conversation that Travis and Mike, our commissioner, is going to have today with council.
okay,
I'll second.
so just to shorten it, we're giving Travis authority to sign the document. Do you guys want to look at it first? We need to look at it first, or do you want to go ahead and just allow your,
Well, I'm recommending or making a motion that per council's specific instructions on this, if we adhere to that, I'm making a motion and we approve that following their conversation, as long as Travis puts in there exactly what council wants.
okay. All right, well, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Hopefully that'll work with you, Joe and Jessica. I mean, we're getting there, I hope. I mean, I understand your concerns, okay?
Yeah, it's frustrating. This is drug out to the last minute. It doesn't need to be this difficult, is my comment on it. And,
Yeah,
question for the board is how is this promoting economic growth and development and supporting small business in the district with, this kind of, burdensome requirement being requested, right, 2 weeks before, a week and a half before, maybe this week before we're supposed to close this transaction.
yeah.
It just seems burdensome. When you guys have, the ability to make, the power to make this decision, let's just, these ones were done under the previous director. Everything's good. This has been why is it being held up now?
Not being held
Okay.
up. They were given their water availability letters a few weeks back. They just didn't agree with the conditions on those. So they've had them for a few weeks.
yes, and also, well, moving along, and you all know as well, as a port, we must do our due diligence,
Right.
as by law, so it's not trying to throw you guys under the bus, it's not, we also have to protect the municipality and its liabilities, that's all.
Yeah,
So moving along, Anything else for the good of the order?
No,
I understand the port wants to do their due diligence and protect themselves, but I also, you know, if the public works is not requiring some of the stuff that's required in that document, then, you know, I'm fine with, you know, line extension agreement, and really that has to do with this, the developer, in the case of when we extend water line on 56, block 56, and the other blocks in there that need water line extensions, then, you know, the reasonable line extension agreement is not something I'm against. It's just if it's overly burdensome and you got an attorney that's you know used to representing port districts in the city where there's you know public roads and
These are
all
private.
kinds of you know things going on, it's going to be the document's overly burdensome because that's where he's writing it from that perspective, and it's you know that's the mandate of the port is to promote economic growth and development and support business, and that's what I really feel like we're not seeing that you know currently with the port is it's been a concern for the last 6 months, and so you know that's still how we I really would like to still see how the port's going to do that and you know keep in line with their charter to support it you know.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay. Well, I don't think we need to continue on anymore except let Travis meet with our council. And Mike, you will be there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, meeting adjourned.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.